All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about how to find a really good dog trainer right here in Harrisburg so you and your pup can get out there and actually enjoy our city.
You know the feeling, right? Are your walks down Front Street actually peaceful, or does it feel more like a tug-of-war? Is a trip over to City Island a fun adventure, or is it honestly just a big ol' hassle? The right kind of training can completely change that picture. Living with a dog in Harrisburg has its own unique quirks. Your dog has to be cool with a cyclist suddenly whizzing by on the greenbelt, or maybe learn to resist those incredibly tempting squirrels over in Riverfront Park. Good training just helps your dog handle all these city moments with a bit more confidence. So where do you even start looking for a professional who understands all this? Well, it really boils down to knowing what methods they use and just checking their qualifications to make sure they're the right match for you and your dog.
Okay, you're going to hear this term a lot, positive reinforcement. And really, it's simple. It means you reward the behavior you want to see more of. This isn't just about teaching sit or stay. It's about building your dog's confidence, which is exactly what they need to handle the surprises of city living.
You'll find there are basically two big camps in dog training. You want to look for trainers who are all about reward-based methods, or things like desensitization, which helps a dog get comfortable with things that scare them. On the other hand, you'll want to steer clear of methods that use intimidation or tools like shock collars and prong collars. Those things often just create more issues because they rely on fear and pain, which can really amp up a dog's stress, and that's the last thing you need in a busy city.
Now, this can be a little tricky because Pennsylvania doesn't have an official licensing system for dog trainers. That's why these certifications are so helpful. For basic manners, a CPDT-KA is a great sign. If you're dealing with bigger stuff like anxiety or fear, a behavior consultant with a credential like CBCC-KA is probably what you need. These aren't just random letters. They mean that trainer has passed some tough exams and is committed to up-to-date ethical training.
Okay, so once you have a trainer you're thinking about, it's time to ask some specific questions. You can think of this as your checklist for hiring the right person for the job.
These questions really get to the core of how a trainer operates. You're making sure they use positive methods and have the right background. And asking how they'll specifically tailor the training for a city dog, that's key. It shows you need a plan that works for your actual life, from loud trucks to crowded sidewalks.
Let's move on to the practical stuff. How much you can expect to budget for training, and, just as important, where you're going to practice everything with your dog.
This chart gives you a pretty solid idea of the average costs around here. A group class might be somewhere between $150 and $275, while one private session is usually in that $90 to $160 range. Anytime you're looking at a package, just make sure to ask what's included. Does it cover travel fees? Do you get written plans to follow? Things like that.
Remember, the training doesn't just happen in the official session. It happens out in the real world. And you'll want to build up to the hard stuff. Start on the quiet streets in Midtown or Shapoke just to work on leash skills. When that's going well, maybe head to Wildwood Park to practice around a few distractions. Then you can test those skills on the Greenbelt before you try the final boss, the crowds and amazing smells around the Broad Street Market.
At the end of the day, all this work is really about one thing: being able to just enjoy life in Harrisburg with your dog.
This is what it's all for. Picture it. Walking calmly through downtown, having your dog chill out under the table at a cafe, and just knowing they can handle whatever the city throws at them. That's the kind of peace and freedom that good training gives you. So what's the first big city adventure you two are going to have? We wish you the best of luck on your training journey. Having a dog you're comfortable with opens up so many doors and makes every little moment, whether it's at home, with your neighbors, or out exploring our town, that much better for everyone.